What is money? What is money? A question that is extremely easy and at the same time extremely difficult to answer for a vast majority of us. Easy because each of us learns about its utility and importance at a very young age. Yet difficult because few of us are satisfied with our answers even at a ripe old age. So what is it about money that confounds us so? For one, it means different things to different people. Secondly, there never is enough of it, no matter how much it is. How is it that something can have such power over us that we can never break free from its servitude, no matter how much of it we think we own? In fact, common experience seems to say that the more of it we have, the more of it we want. Also, the more we are mortified when threatened with the loss of what we do have. A poor man rues the absence of it. A rich one, in addition, fears the loss of what he does have. We are in a mess, aren't we? We must clean it up. Start, we must. But from where? Well, I guess the beginning would be a good place to begin with. So, let's get to the definitions first. Let's start with formal definitions. Those are good to get an overview, yet are reasonably thorough. thefreedictionary.com. As usual, dictionaries have multiple meanings, so we'll read all of them. A medium that can be exchanged for goods and services and is used as a measure of their values on the market, including, among its forms, a commodity such as gold, an officially issued coin or note, or a deposit in a checking account or other readily liquefiable account. The official currency, coins and negotiable paper notes issued by a government. Assets and property considered in terms of monetary value, wealth. The Collins, a medium of exchange that functions as legal tender. The official currency in the form of banknotes, coins, etc., issued by a government or other authority. A particular denomination or form of currency. Property or assets with reference to their realizable value. A pecuniary sum or income. The Oxford, a current medium of exchange in the form of coins and banknotes. Coins and banknotes collectively. Sums of money. The assets, property and resources owned by someone or something. Wealth. Financial gain. Payment for work. Wages. And now, my favorite, Wikipedia's. Money is any object that is generally accepted as payment for goods and services and repayment of debts in a given country or socio-economic context. The main functions of money are distinguished as a medium of exchange, a unit of account, a store of value, and occasionally a standard of deferred payment. So we have all these definitions, yet somehow we are not quite satisfied with these. Why? Because these are definitions for the learned set, the economists, or at least those cramming for Bachelor of Commerce examinations, and so forth. And like everything else in life, we understand best only those explanations that have a direct bearing on our life and have a direct connect into our emotions. So let us see if we can give another definition that does not use too many words and uses concepts that are relevant primarily to us and not just to the scholars. Of course, I do not promise that such a definition will sound familiar, nor that one will not need to delve a little deeper into one's own heart and soul to get a wrap around on that definition. But let's try. Money is a representation. Money is not a commodity or something of real use. You can get a commodity against it, of course, but money is itself not something that you can use directly. If you are hungry, you can part with some of your money, buy wheat or bread with it, and eat the bread. However, you cannot eat the money itself. Thus, money is a claim that you make on things you wish to use, yet has no direct use, more or less, other than burning it for warmth, if paper. Thus, a representation of potential. Money only has a potential to get you what you ask against it. The potential is not always fulfilled. Sometimes the issuing authority will come under a cloud, and those that have the material that you desire will not want to accept the doubtful money. At other times, what you ask for may not be something that they wish to give you at that point. Thus, the potential is belied. Economic. Money can generally be used only to buy goods and services that are on the market. The hackneyed examples are love, happiness, and time, etc., that you cannot buy using money. There are several other examples of what, mercifully, cannot be bought at this time, despite an ongoing effort on the part of the high and mighty to monetize as much of human life as possible. Even nation states are now seen as primarily economic entities. Most countries peddle their GDP figures to prove their superiority to others. This, despite the GDP itself being a deeply flawed concept. Need and want fulfillment. These are primarily what are felt within a human being, and thus, to us, better markers of what can be satisfied with judicious expenditure of money. We are using these terms in place of the ubiquitous goods and services for two reasons. One, because goods and services are external to a human being and are important only to the extent that they can satisfy some drives emanating from deep inside a human being. Secondly, it is not entirely clear what is a good and what is a service. Even when clear, that difference is not of primary relevance to an individual, as opposed to the difference between a need and a want. So once again, the definition of money, closer to a user's perspective, I submit, maybe, money is a representation of potential economic need and want fulfillment. I believe that the explanations of how I have used most terms in the definition are by now reasonably clear and unambiguous. The only exception might be the usage of the terms need and want. Let us see if this usage of these three words is justified in place of a single user-focused word, say, desire. Let us take some examples. Looking at the column on the left-hand side, one finds a list of things which, among others, are basic necessities of life. Sustenance of life requires food, bodily strength, faculties of sense, mental capabilities, etc. A certain level of happiness or absence of negatives is also a basic requirement. Similarly, anyone who has had to go knows that excretion is a basic bodily function, and brooks no prolonged denial. Similarly, leisure and sex, despite sometimes being seen as deniable or luxuries as opposed to necessities in some cultures, are also basic to human life in my dictionary.